Good
Good morning.
morning, everybody, and welcome to our request for a proposal for development of a county-wide tribal consultation policy and implementation plan proposers conference. A couple of housekeeping items before we start. This conference will be recorded and will be posted anywhere where the RFP is posted, and that includes our website and social media. All questions from the conference may or may not be answered during the conference, but it will be answered and included in an addendum to be released on June 13th. Any confidential information will be excluded. All participants are muted until the Q&A session. If you have any questions, you can enter them in the chat at any time. However, your questions may or may not receive a response today. If we can answer them today, it will be during our Q&A session. If you haven't, please turn off your camera to ensure a smooth presentation today. Lastly, please send your name and company name via Zoom meeting chat. Now I would like to introduce Ms. Alexandra Ferguson Valdez, Executive Director of the Los Angeles City County Native American Indian Commission, to tell us more about the RFP.
Thanks, Julian. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Alexandra Valdez, and I'm the Executive Director of the Native American Indian Commission, which will be the county contact for this contract. So today we'll kick off our presentation with the county's adopted land acknowledgement. The County of Los Angeles recognizes that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in land seizure, disease, subjugation, slavery, relocation, broken promises, genocide, and multi-generational trauma. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of Los Angeles County. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these ancestral lands. We're dedicated to growing and sustaining relationships with Native peoples and local tribal governments, including, in no particular order, the Fernandino, Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, Gabrielina Tongva Indians of California Tribal Council, Gabrielina Tongva San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians Quiche Nation, San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, San Fernando Band of Mission Indians. So today, here's a quick run of our agenda for today's presentation. So we just went over a county land acknowledgement. We'll introduce this work, the purpose, the deliverables, the budget, payment, and deliverable schedule, the anticipated contract term, the proposer's minimum qualifications, scoring, the RFP timetable, the selection process. Then we have a quick video that Julian's prepared, which is walking through how to create an account and apply through SM Apply, and then we will do questions and answers. So let me move myself so I can see this. So the purpose of this RFP is to solicit proposals for a contract with an individual organization that can develop a draft countywide tribal consultation policy and implementation plan for the LA County Board of Supervisors to consider adopting for LA County. The policy will provide a framework for the county to establish and maintain effective and consistent government-to-government relationships and engage in meaningful consultation with California Native American tribes with ancestral and cultural ties to the county. The project entails the following work: convening and facilitating meetings, workshops, and interviews with the offices of the Board of Supervisors, local tribal governments, the county CEO's office, department heads, and county staff, as well as drafting the policy and draft plan. Managing all aspects of the project include, but not limited to, developing, planning, and executing project components, overseeing operations for the project, including managing the budget, acting as the primary contact for any subcontractors and vendors, ensuring the smooth and timely execution of each deliverable, and providing regular updates to the Commission's Executive Director and the Department of Arts and Culture on the progress of the deliverables. The first deliverable for the project is a project plan. The project plan must include reference all relevant county reports and materials as named in the RFP and linked, a list of individuals and groups, which we'll refer to as participants, invited to inform the draft policy, provide input, and serve as interview subjects. Participants shall include, but not be limited to, designated representatives from tribes with ancestral ties to what is now known as Los Angeles County, the Board of Supervisors, county staff, and then Los Angeles City County Native American Indian Commission commissioners. A realistic timeline for executing all activities and deliverables. It includes articulated goals, format, and participants for each proposed activity and deliverable. Includes a regular meeting schedule with the Commission's executive director, myself, and relevant arts and culture staff. An adequate time for myself and arts and culture staff to review draft documents and provide feedback. The second deliverable is research and participant engagement. The consultant will conduct research to inform the development of the draft policy, conduct outreach to participants for guidance on policy development, and provide opportunities to give feedback at key stages, including a public comment period once the draft is finalized. Additionally, outreach should be conducted in a manner that is respectful, trauma-informed, responsive, and contributes to an atmosphere of trust and collaboration. The third deliverable is the draft tribal consultation policy. The draft policy will guide the county's efforts to share technical information and assist tribes when requested, and establish a step-by-step process and outline roles and responsibilities to assist the county and each of its boards, departments, and offices in engaging with tribes broadly and in government-to-government consultation. The fourth deliverable is the Tribal Consultation Policy Implementation Plan. The draft implementation plan will provide a roadmap for the county and its various departments, boards, and offices, including guidance on best practices for implementing actions to comply with the draft policy. And deliverable number 5 is process documentation and a report. The consultant will submit a report that documents the processes undertaken for developing both the draft policy and implementation plan, and the report will include a summary of interviews, meetings, activities, and details about the consultant's methodology and approaches. So those are the 5 deliverables for this project. I'll now speak about the budget, payment, and deliverable schedule. The contractor will adhere to the schedule outlined below. Adjustments to the schedule may be made upon mutual written agreement between the contractor. So we name the phases in the description. The due date and the amount will be stipulated in the proposal by the folks applying. So I won't go through all of these, but you can see that there's 4 phases with various tasks and deliverables that would need to have a proposed due date and the amount that deliverable or task would cost. And then obviously including a total amount for the contract. The quality assurance plan. This proposal also needs a quality assurance plan, which the county will evaluate the contractor's performance under this contract. It should include monthly meetings, contract discrepancy report, and county observations. Switched over. So now, I apologize, that went over. The anticipated contract term is that the contract would commence on July 15th, 2025. The contract term is anticipated to be for a period of up to 1 year and 6 months, unless it's sooner terminated or extended in whole or in part as specified in Appendix A, which is the sample contract. And then the county will have the sole option to extend the contract term for up to one additional 1 year period, 1.5 year period. So it could end up being a maximum total contract of 3 years. And it would be based on initially contracted rates, subject to performance needs and availability of additional funds. Proposers' minimum qualifications: 5 years of legal experience in tribal Indian law within the last 10 years, 5 years of experience within the last 10 years conducting stakeholder facilitation and policy development for government entities and/or large organizations, 3 completed prior projects developing tribal consultation policies or similar literature for government entities within the last 10 years, versed in tribal consultation and relevant state and federal laws and executive orders, no unresolved question costs identified by the county auditor controller in an amount over $100,000, unless such disallowed costs are the subject of current good faith negotiations to resolve the disallowed costs in the opinion of the county. Scoring. Part 1 is 900 points for the services. This includes a statement of interest for 100 points, background and experience, which is up to 300 points, proposer's approach to providing required services, which is 300 points, up to 300 points, proposer's quality control plan, which is up to 100 points, and then work samples, which is up to 100 points, all totaling 900 points. Cost. The proposer is asked to provide a proposed budget that includes a detailed breakdown of costs for each deliverable phase of this project, as we noted previously. So these are the 4 phases with the various tasks and deliverables, which would need a due date, expected due date, and amount stipulated by the proposer, as well as the total cost of the contract. Scoring, part 3, required forms and corporate documents. Forms to complete in SurveyMonkey Apply, which we have a video at the end again that goes through this process, include Form 1, which is minimum qualifications. Form 2, the proposer's debarment history and list of terminated contracts. Form 3, pending litigation and judgments, 120 points maximum deduction for this. Form 4, request for preference consideration. Form 5, contribution and agent declaration form. Form 6, attestation of compliance and declaration. And then this is going through the summary evaluation of scoring, which we talked about earlier. The services total 900 points. The budget is 100 points. And then compliance and litigation review, it could be a maximum deduction of 120 points, with terminated contracts could result in 80 points deduction, and proposers litigation and judgments is 40 points, which totals 120 points. And the RFP timetable. So the release of the RFP was on May 13th, 2025. The deadline to submit request for solicitation requirements review was on May 27th by 4 p.m. And then today, obviously, we're having the virtual proposers conference. Written questions are due by I believe that's a typo. It should say Friday, June 6th by 4 p.m. And then questions and answers in an addendum form will be released on 6/13. And they will be released in every place that this RFP has been released, including the Arts and Culture website and the ISD website. And then the proposals are due by 4 p.m. via using SM Apply on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Selection process. The evaluation process will be conducted in the following stages. Stage 1, the adherence to minimum requirements. This is a pass-fail component. Stage 2, proposal evaluations, which will be done in 2 parts. Part 1 is the services, part 2 is the cost. Stage 3 would be an interview, and stage 4 is final review and selection. And so
Hello, everyone. We are now
I'm sorry, that started too early. Now we're going to share a quick video that Julian put together that walks through how to apply via SM Apply. So I'm going to share that. If someone can drop a thumbs up that you can hear, I would greatly appreciate it.
Proposers conference, where I will guide you through the process of submitting your proposal via SurveyMonkey Apply, aka SM Apply. This will be a straight walkthrough with no breaks in between, and we will address any questions related to the submission at the end of this conference. So please hold off on any questions until the end. Without further ado, let's dive in. Right in front of you is our SM Apply page. If this is your first time submitting an application with the Department of Arts and Culture, go ahead and create a new SM Apply account. If this is not your first time applying, then go ahead and log in. I have an account with SM Apply, so I will go ahead and log in as an applicant. After you logged in, you will pick the RFP that you are applying for, which for today's demonstration is the development of a tribal consultation policy and implementation plan. For the sake of this demonstration, I have already pre-filled my sample application. The first portion that you will be filling out is your contact information. This form requires you to enter an organization name. So if you are applying as an individual proposer, go ahead and enter your first and last name under organization name as well as your primary contact name. This form does require you to enter your phone number in a specific format, so please follow the format that is given to you. When you're done with this portion, click on the green Mark as Complete box at the bottom of the form. After you're done with contact information, you will go to Part 1. Part 1 and Part 2 are where you will be uploading the required documents as part of your RFP application. All you have to do is hit Upload a File, and the website will prompt you to enter or upload or select the form that you prepared for this application. and all of my uploads are included. So I will hit mark as complete. We will do the same for part 2. Part 3 of this application requires no uploads, but you do have to answer a series of questions as part of your application. Some of these questions are the same as the forms you see on the RFP file appendix. These allows us to take your input as your submission, so you do not have to complete and submit the PDF forms. Part 3, Form 6 is where you will sign. So you can go ahead and sign with your mouse. If you have any questions related to the forms, please reach out to us via email. And you may want to have a quick look through of your entire application. So you can click on the review button, and you can also download your application. And when you're done reviewing, you will hit this green box that says submit your application. And you're going to hit submit again to confirm your submission.
Great. Thank you so much, Julian. I'm going to reshare my video. Hi. So we are now at the point we're going to enter into questions and answers. For any question, as Julian noted, that we're unable to answer today, we will jot it down and also release the answer on June 13th with all of the consolidated questions answered here or asked here, as well as the ones received in writing by June 6th. So without further ado, if you do have a question, Julian, how would you like to do this? Unmute folks' lines and everyone can
Hi,
jump
Alex.
in.
Thanks for the presentation. As of right now, I haven't seen any questions on the meeting chat yet. So,
Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. And if not, or if you feel more comfortable putting them in chat, we also welcome that. And if you'd like to submit them in writing, you may do so as well by Friday by 4 p.m. Julian, would you mind dropping into the chat the email address for questions and if anyone wants to submit them in writing after this meeting?
sure.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll give it a minute or so in case anyone has any.
We have one question. Is there a place where we submit the request for solicitation requirements review? Would you like me to answer that?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have a solicitation requirements review form, which is something that's not mandatory, you may fill out the form and send it over to the same email address, which is the admin@lanaic.lacounty.gov.
For clarity, Julian, those were due the 27th, correct?
Um, let's see.
I'll go back. Solicitation requirements
Yes.
review were due by 4 p.m. on May 27th. But we are, the deadline for those has passed.
And there's another question. Do we
Okay.
still need to submit them? The form is not mandatory.
Any other questions?
No, how about we hold off for another 2 minutes?
Oh, we have such a
Oh.
wonderful turnout today. Thank you all for being here. We'll wait a couple more minutes if anyone has any more questions. Also, if you don't have any questions, feel free to also sign off if you are done. And again, if you have any questions that arise, written questions are due by Friday, June 6th by 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please feel free to submit those as well, and they will be answered in the addendum released on June 13th. All right, give it one more minute till 10:23, and then we'll call it for today. And again, this recording will be posted with the RFP on the Arts and Culture website, on the Internal Services Department website of the county. So if you need to revisit it, it will be there as well. Oh, is there another question?
No, that
Thank
was
you
it.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I really appreciate your time on this Monday morning, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.